it back to Michigan. We did a full 3 months on the road from Michigan all the way up to Maine, Acadia National Park, and then back down. We are very excited to be back in Michigan. 3 months down, we are here. We are cleaning everything. All the dishes went out, all the clothes went out, everything's being washed. The rugs came out, went to the dry cleaners, and now we're just getting everything ready to head back out again. Our next journey is going to take us from Michigan down south through Missouri, Arkansas, Albuquerque to Arizona. We're going to hang out for a few weeks. And then we'll go up to Utah, see the national parks, and then back to California. So I hope you join us on a journey of the next 3 months. And here's a little bit, a recap from our trip. My favorite campground is called Wolf's Neck. It was on the coast of Maine. It was this huge complex and it had a working organic farm. It also had a bunch of trails and outdoor programs for kids, learning about the animals, and it had a huge garden, vegetable garden. And in their little building you could buy fresh fruits and vegetables and meat and milk from their farm, as well as you were on the coast, so it was just a really nice walk in the morning. They did have Wi-Fi, although it was kind of sketchy, but it was just a really nice facility. We really didn't go to many cities. I would say there was only a handful that we went to. We were mostly in small towns the whole time and backcountry. But I would say I've never been to Pittsburgh or Philadelphia before, and I was a big fan of both of them. I only spent probably half a day in each, but I would love to go back, especially Philly. I really enjoyed all the historic items in Philly, and I would love to go back because there's so much more that I didn't get to see. Everyone always asks me if I met a bunch of people along the way, and not really, to be honest. Maybe that was a COVID thing. But also, a lot of the campgrounds, it was mostly families or retirees, and they just kind of kept themselves, did their own thing. There were a handful of groups of retirees that I did meet, and they were super nice. They gave me lots of food, and they were cool to hang out with. But I really didn't meet that many people. There were some of my tour guides that I talked to, the ranger in Ohiopyle State Park, my rock climbing guide. But in general, I didn't really see that many people. It was really just Sandy and I on our own, doing our own thing. Everywhere we went, we tried to get the local cuisine. So in Philly, got Philly cheesesteak. In Amish country, got lots of baked goods, lots of home-cooked meals. Also along the coast, especially Maine, obviously lobster was a huge thing, so I had lobster multiple times. And it was good. I can't say it's my favorite. It was nice to have it while I was there and it was fresh. But I don't know if I had a favorite food. I just kind of enjoyed the local cuisine wherever we went, and I enjoyed the variety. Actually, nothing really broke on the trailer. Really early on, I rolled over one of my wheel chucks, and I also didn't tighten down the lid to the propane tank, and that flew off. But really, those were the only things that broke. There were a few little mishaps, like I had ants for a little while, so I had to spray for those. Some of the plumbing that I did, or my dad did at the beginning, started to leak, so we had to fix some of that. But really not really anything big or anything major broke, or I didn't run into a tree, didn't get any dents in the trailer, so actually everything worked out just fine. The Wi-Fi, a lot of the campgrounds were really iffy and really sketchy. Sometimes I had to go to their pavilion where they had a stronger Wi-Fi signal. So I was sitting on picnic tables, or I was sitting in my car trying to get signal. Lots of times I had to call into meetings from my phone. But it kind of worked out overall. The Wi-Fi wasn't too terrible in the Northeast United States. I did have my Verizon Jetpack that I used a lot. So it worked out, but I would say it's not super reliable to get Wi-Fi everywhere. I would love to go back to the White Mountains of New Hampshire. I didn't really know anything about the White Mountains before I got there. It was just a stop on the way from Maine all the way back. So I got there and I couldn't believe how gorgeous it was. There's these huge mountains, lots of peaks, so much hiking. I mean, there's bears and moose and all kinds of wildlife. And it was just a great area in the summertime. I know they have a lot of skiing in the wintertime, so it's definitely something I'd want to check out in the future. If you're planning a trip to the Northeast, I would highly recommend checking out Maine, especially if you want to go somewhere along the coast. I really enjoy the coastal towns of Maine and the food and the ambiance way more than I did, say, Cape Cod. I felt like Cape Cod was kind of overrated, and I didn't really think there was that many things to do, and the local towns in the Cape Cod area were actually not that great to walk around. The shops weren't that unique, and there were a lot of ticks there, and we just didn't have the greatest time at Cape Cod. We did like the cranberry tour and bog tour in Cape Cod, and we also enjoyed some other little things in Cape Cod, but I would say that I would highly recommend Maine over that area. Most surprising area is definitely Ohio. I always thought that Ohio was flat for whatever reason, didn't really have that much to do. But the Mohican State Park, the Hocking Hills State Park, and even the Amish country had a lot to do. And then even on the way back, we did the Put-in-Bay Island and Cedar Point area, and we had a really great time on that island. There was so much to do for families, and even if you don't have families, lots to do for older kids. So I would say that Ohio was the most surprising, had lots to do, lots to see. The Hocking Hills area was great. The state park even had Wi-Fi. And the waterfalls and the caves you couldn't pass up. So if you are in the Midwest looking for a trip, I'd highly recommend actually Ohio.